Welcome to World History Lesson 20. France in Flux. Our lesson objectives are: recognize the influence of Napoleon, discuss the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte as Emperor of France, understand how the wars of Napoleon strengthened and weakened France, understand how foreign powers influenced and were influenced by Napoleon's France. In 1795, a new constitution was written in France. The republic formed by the National Convention in 1792 was disbanded, with the new French government was called the Directory. The Directory was similar to the Republic, but 5 men were in control, and the Directory also had a legislature. During the period of the Directory, Napoleon Bonaparte rose to power. Although life in France did not improve under the Directory, the French army was successful, and foreign powers were unable to stop the French Revolution. Fun facts. Many jokes and speculation has been made of Napoleon's height. Napoleon was 5'7", but the error comes from the French recording him as 5 feet 2 inches in French units. French inches are slightly smaller than standard inches. Due to this area, the term Napoleon complex was created to indicate somebody with an inferiority complex. Another factor that helped this incorrect nugget of knowledge to become accepted was that Napoleon was constantly seen with his bodyguards, who were recruited for their massive size. The bodyguards' uniforms were made to make them appear larger and more intimidating, which when compared to the average size of Napoleon, made him seem smaller. Napoleon's accepted size earned him the nickname Le Petite Corporal, or in English, the Little Corporal, although in his day this was typically used as a term of affection for him and not as an insult. Napoleon gained the support of the army and took sole control of the Directory in 1799. Napoleon now controlled France and would now create another constitution. The Constitution of 1799 gave most of the power in France to Napoleon himself. Napoleon achieved this due to the French people who were tired of the troubles of the previous years and Napoleon's control of the army. Napoleon named himself the Emperor of France in 1804. Under Napoleon's rule, France became the most powerful country in Europe. The French economy was good, improved tremendously. Education was open to everybody, regardless of class or financial means. Most important, Napoleon codified the laws of France, meaning that the laws were written down so that all people could read them. This is known as the Napoleonic Code and is still used in France today. The Napoleonic Code is also part of the state law of Louisiana. The French army under Napoleon's command defeated the English, Austrians, Prussians, Italians, Russians, and Spanish. French territory grew as more land was taken from its enemies. Napoleon created the country of Poland. Between 1808 and 1811, Napoleonic France reached the height of its power. Napoleon would make a serious mistake. Napoleon grew overconfident in his success and began to think his army couldn't be defeated. Napoleon invaded Russia in 1812. The initial invasion, which began in the summer, was a success. When French troops reached Moscow, they found an empty city. The Russians had burned the city and any usable supplies so that the French would be left with nothing. The Russians evaded the French army and led them deeper into Russia. As winter approached, the problems began for the French. Russian winters are harsh, and the French army did not have enough clothing or supplies for the severe weather. Small groups of Russian soldiers continually attacked the French army and its supplies before fading back into the Russian winter. These attacks were devastating, and of the 600,000 soldiers invading Russia, only 60,000 made it back to France. Taking advantage of the weakened French army, Prussia, Austria, and Russia declared war on France. Napoleon was forced to leave France in May of 1814. The armies of Prussia, Russia, England, and Austria restored the monarchy to France. Napoleon defied exile and returned to France in May of 1815 in what would be known as the 100 Days. Napoleon tried to restore the greatness of the French Empire while King Louis the 18th fled France. Napoleon was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo. King Louis XVIII would return to the throne, and Napoleon was taken prisoner and again exiled. Napoleon lived his final years as a prisoner on the island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. The French Revolution proved that an absolute monarchy can be defeated, which was unheard of in Europe. France would now form a parliamentary type of government. The new government would take control of education from the church. The middle class gained respectability, and with this new respect, The feudal system was destroyed. There was a new pride in France and its peoples. What next? Take the time to go back and review the lesson on your own. After your review, complete the lesson review for the lesson and submit for grading. Remember, your submissions should follow all the rules for standard written English. All submissions must be written in your own words and sources used cited at the end. How to cite sources in APA format. When you reference a source within an APA-style paper, whether it is using a direct quote, repurposing an image, or simply referring to an idea or theory, you should insert an in-text citation, the author's surname and the date of publication within parentheses, straight after a direct quote. The URL citationmachine.net will assist you in creating citations.